Until the 1870s, the area known as Way Green was open countryside. And by the 1890s, development around St Agnes Church had begun. At this time, Birmingham architects embraced the principles of the arts and crafts movement, and many houses within St Agnes conservation area are notable for their high-quality design, construction, and detail. Houses by prominent and innovative local architects such as Charles Edward Bateman, William Alexander Harvey, George Pepper, and William de Lacy Ahern are situated within St Agnes conservation area. The area has been largely unaltered since its original development, and as such is a good example of arts and crafts design, seeking to create houses that respected English building traditions and a craftsman-like approach to construction. So now let's discover some of the arts and crafts houses in the area. Whitecroft is a large house designed by de Lacy Ahern in 1906. It displays a mix of rough cast and timber framing with checkerboard patterns over windows and porch. This art and crafts house was designed in a distinctive but restrained Birmingham style by Anthony Rose for his brother Thomas in 1904. The semi-detached art and craft houses were designed by William Alexander Harvey in 1905. The houses are arranged in a U-shape with bold gabled wings. The first house suffered bomb damage in World War II, and repairs were supervised by Harvey between 1945 and 1947. On Oxford Road is a pair of semi-detached houses built by de Lacy Ahern for two brothers. The swept front wall with stone ball finishes unifies the pair. Frederick William Lanchester lived on Oxford Road. Together with his two brothers, he formed the Lanchester Motor Company, producing advanced high-quality cars from the beginning of the 20th century until 1931, when the company was sold to the BSA Group. On Colmore Crescent stands Ashley Lodge. This is the largest house in St Agnes conservation area and was designed by Owen Parsons in 1916. The house is expensively finished with high-quality materials and arts and crafts details. Other houses in the conservation area by Parsons include one on Oxford Road, built in 1907, and another one on Way Green Road, built in 1911. Way Green Road Prefabs. The cottage-style bungalows stand as a row of 17 at the southern end of Way Green Road. Although more than 100,000 were built after the war, with 4,000 in Birmingham, only several hundred still exist. In 1998, the significance of the Way Green Road buildings were formally recognized when 16 were listed with Grade II status by Historic England. This is the largest collection of listed prefabs in the country. Built in 1945 by mass builders Lang, McAlpine, and Henry Booth, the prefabs were erected as a result of the 1944 Housing Temporary Accommodation Act. These prefabs play an important role in the memories of many Burmese. Although they still stand proud more than 70 years on, appearances can be deceptive, and for some, it is more about being able to keep standing at all. For the overall size, they were well designed, but cold in the winter and difficult to heat. The walls were very thin and the windows were made from galvanized metal.
As a young girl, the fields were mine. We played hide and seek for hours, raised our shadows among the pines. So offshore, playful and free, without a care in the world. I was one rich little girl, daydreamer, kidnap me. Take me back, all the way back to them days, running around in a gown and a crown, barefoot. No mistake ever kept me late. We spent summers catching fireflies and winters on our skates. One big smile across my face. We used to dance our way to church on Sundays. Mama set the pace. Daydreamer, kidnap me. Take me back.
Highbury Hall was built by Joseph Chamberlain, industrialist, reforming Birmingham mayor, and controversial national and imperial politician. It was a family residence until his death in 1914. The house and its surrounding 26-acre estate form one of Birmingham's most important heritage assets. This Victorian house was designed by Birmingham architect John Henry Chamberlain in a Venetian Gothic style with art and crafts features. Joseph Chamberlain was famous for modernizing Birmingham with clean water and gas supplies, better sewers, roads, pavements, and public buildings like the Council House. In 1919, the building was used as a military hospital. Later on, parts of the mansion were converted in a nursing home for elderly women. Joseph Chamberlain's son, Austin Chamberlain, Birmingham MP and Nobel Peace Prize winner, established the Highbury Trust in 1919 to manage the estate, and in 1932 the trust was passed down to the City Council for the general benefit of the citizens of Birmingham. Today, parts of the buildings are used for private functions like conference and wedding venues. In 2016, the Chamberlain Highbury Trust took over the hall on a long lease from the Birmingham City Council. The dining room. Joseph, Birmingham mayor, often used this room for informal gatherings with fellow politicians. Here, Joseph would lead discussions that would shape the fate of Birmingham and England as a whole. A good meal, served in a relaxed atmosphere, was a means to consolidate relationships and engage in political discussions. This small space was a witness of psychological and political debates. Highbury Hall is on the Heritage England at Risk register after years of neglect under City Council supervision. The Trust submitted a major bid to the Heritage Lottery Fund, as well as sought donations from funds and generous individuals to bring the hall back to life. An 8 million fundraising campaign was launched to revive the Highbury Hall and add a coffee shop, a museum exhibition, and have 30 acres of grounds restored. Richard Cadbury of Bournville, chocolate manufacturer, bought an estate on Queensbridge Road for the construction of a new house to be known as Uffculme. Richard Cadbury died in 1899, and in 1916, Uffculme was donated to the city as a psychiatric hospital. With the parkland of Joseph Chamberlain's Highbury, the grounds later became a public park. The house is now the Uffculme Center, belonging to Birmingham and Solihull Mental Health and NHS Trust, and is used as an administrative base, a training and conference center. The Moseley Hall and Estate was bought in 1764 by John Taylor of Bawdsley Park, a very wealthy toy manufacturer. His son, John Taylor II, inherited Moseley Hall in 1775. Taylor lived in Moseley Hall until his death in 1814. In 1890, Richard Cadbury bought Moseley Hall from the Taylor estate. The following year, he offered it to the city of Birmingham as a children's convalescent hospital. Today, the Moseley Hall Hospital offers general medical care as well as stroke and brain injury rehabilitation services. The 18th century octagonal Dovecote, the adjoining cowhouse, and the Georgian garden offer an insight into Moseley's rural past. The Dovecote belonged to the Taylor family of the Moseley Hall and served as a house for pigeons and doves. It contains pigeonholes for birds' nests. The possession of a Dovecote was a symbol of status and power. The Moseley Society restored the Dovecote and first opened it to the public in 1985 as a museum. The earliest surviving Dovecote in England was built in 1326 at Galway in Herefordshire.